Tell me about yourself. I have mainly worked in education. Helping others to grow and achieve was my main strength. In the process, I learned that you should wait for students to find their own ways to learn, and teachers need to be patient. And learning is a long journey till they achieve their goal. So you have to introduce many options they could develop in ways they can enjoy learning. Based on these experiences, I think I can help children and parents stay comfortable in the process of waiting for their child's recovery in the hospital. What is your hobby? My hobby is practicing foreign languages. I am practicing Spanish and Japanese using animations, Coco and Spirited Away. My short-term goal is to understand these animations without subtitles. What are your strengths? Why do you think we should hire you? Why do you think you're the best person for this job? What can you offer us? What makes you a good fit for our company? I am a punctual person. I always arrive early and complete my work on time. My previous job didn't have deadlines, but still I made sure that I was organized and adhered to all my jobs. I consider myself to be a team player. I like to work with other people, and I find that it's much easier to achieve something when everyone works together and communicates well. If I need to work alone, I will, but I pride myself on being a team player. I like working with other people and my coworkers to help with the flow and the ease of the job. If there are tasks my coworkers or other people need help with, I'm happy to lend a hand. I am able to adapt to change. When I worked at my previous workplace, I had to leave the task I was doing and I had to help other volunteers and coworkers. I understand I have to prioritize as a team. When I work, I always take initiative. If I see something that needs doing, I don't wait for instruction, I do it. I believe that to get anywhere in life, you need this quality. I'm proactive. When I think about things, I do them. I like to see results, and it's important in this industry to be proactive and responsible for your own actions. What are your weaknesses? How are you working to improve these weaknesses? I sometimes am slower in completing my tasks compared to others because I really want to get things right. I will double or sometimes triple check things to make sure everything is accurate. I ask for feedback on whether the job requires accuracy or speed rather than accuracy, and I set a personal deadline. However, when I do simple tasks, I set up a system of work quickly and do things at a high speed. And sometimes I should remember I have to slow things down for my coworkers. I pay attention to the feedback of the people I work with. Some people talk comfortably about what they need and others don't. So I pay attention to their expressions and reactions. Why did you leave your last job? I have suffered from atelophthisis from time to time since 2020, and the symptoms worsened in the summer of 2022. I often felt dizzy, when I turned my head at a certain angle. When I worked, I often had to look up to hang things, and that gave me spinning dizziness. So my symptoms affected the quality of my work. I used the Apley maneuver, but the effect didn't last for days. That's why I had to leave my job. I had to put my head in a fixed position as long as possible. So I used the beam projector so that I can face the ceiling for a long time. It worked pretty well. Now I got much better. Tell us about your education. I majored in Christianity in undergraduate and graduate school. I created an internet course program to teach the world's religions as a teaching assistant. I wrote a thesis on the influence of Christianity on the birth of Korean feminism during the Japanese colonial period. Where do you see yourself 5 years from now? I think there will always be a better way to communicate. I hope to be a more skilled co-prosperity communicator in 5 years. Do you have any questions for us? Do you have any examples of projects that I would be working on if I were to be offered the job? What is the typical day for this position? Does the company offer in-house training to staff? What is the next step? How is the work culture environment? How would you deal with issues or conflicts at work? How would you deal with conflict with a coworker? When I encounter a conflict situation, I give myself and the other person time to think first. In many cases, this conflict was not caused by the malice of the people involved. Small misunderstandings and communication problems create conflict situations, often due to personal issues. Since I have met most of my good coworkers so far, most things have been solved without difficulty. If it is not solved in this way, I will try to narrow down the problem of the conflict situation in detail and have a constructive conversation with the other party. Give an example of a time you had to deal with a workplace conflict. At my previous job, I met a coworker who talked about his prejudice against Asians from 9 to 5. I didn't take his words personally. However, I did express to him that the things he said made me uncomfortable. He said he suffered from severe depression and was not taking his ADHD medication. I spoke with my boss about the difficulties I was having with my coworker. My boss mentioned that he had quit soon because of how open he was about hating his job. After 3 months, he left. It sounds like you had to deal with that for another 3 months. What was something you did to make it through the days that you worked with him? I tried to not react negatively. Some people told me that his words also made them uncomfortable. I reassured my other coworkers that this would not turn into a heated situation because I had a plan. In order to be my best self and perform well, my physical and mental health is a priority. When the situation with my coworker was not going well, I'd remove myself from the situation. I would take time to gather my thoughts. It helped me to remain calm and patient during those situations.